Welcome back. Another third and 30, September 18th, the year of our Lord 2025. We got your host, Mike, as usual. We got Steven out in Portland. Steven, what up?
Oh man, it's you're repping your Giants hard after that week, huh?
I still have to rep them, man. It was a tough loss. It was a tough loss, but Russ balled out. Malik Neighbors with that beautiful catch where he didn't even see the ball. It was just, I don't care what anyone says. That's forever one of the best, probably top 20 plays I've seen as a Giants fan. So
Oh man.
uh I think so. Just a pure highlight. And Calvin, he's actually with us today too, but he's just going to be joining us a little bit late. We got our special guest, my guy from the DMV, Chaz, coming on probably in about 45 minutes or so. So get ready for that. Big Ravens fans, got to see if he likes Lamar again to win the MVP like he should have won last year or what,
Oh,
and see if he could finally get over the hump and win that ring. But let's talk about the Giants first. We have a lot of things we're going to talk about. Chiefs. We're going to talk maybe a little bit about the fight. A lot of different teams here. But let's start with the Giants. So that was a really really frustrating loss for my team. They haven't beat the Cowboys since 2020, and they've only beat Dak Prescott once his entire career, and that was the first time they played him back in 2016. The other time they beat the Cowboys was in 2020, and Andy Dalton was the quarterback. So I don't even know how much that even counts. But they had
yeah.
him on the ropes. They should have won that game. Penalty after penalty after penalty. Dable is clearly over his head. This guy is just not head coach material. Um, and I question his ability as a quote unquote QB guru. I don't know. Josh Allen seems to be thriving without him. Uh,
Russ
Bama
just
wanted
had a good game.
Bama
Didn't
wanted him fired. Russ had a good game, yes, but Russ is also probably going to the Hall of Fame. So I mean, he can always churn out one. He's always throwing a beautiful deep ball, a very catchable deep ball, and that's why like guys like Malik Neighbors going to love catching it from him. Same with Wandale. Wandale had a career game. I think that was the first time the Giants had two wide receivers combined for like 300 since like I had to be Cruz and Nix back in the day.
I
You
don't want
know,
to remember that combo.
yeah, it had to have been. It had to have been. I don't know that for a fact, but it had to have been. But it's another frustrating loss, and now they're going to be going against the Chiefs next week, and they already have the hardest schedule in the league. So it's going to be really strugglesville from here on out. It looks like, unless they can really pick up a win against the Chiefs, who have not looked good either. We're going to go into that a little bit, but I don't know what you do from here. I think a lot of the Giants fan base, sooner rather than later, is going to at least look for that silver lining in Jackson Dart. So, I mean, we all love Jameis too, but Jameis isn't the future. So I think that if it's not already happening, the fans are going to start calling for Dart, even in spite of Russ's performance. And I think Dable is going to move on to Jackson Dart sooner rather than later, just because I think that could be his ticket to maybe saving his job. Just because even if the record is subpar and how many people probably expect 5, 6 wins, he can say, yeah, but Jackson Dart's gotten better throughout the year. You got to let me see this through. You got to let me run it back next year. So that could be his golden ticket. The running game, a lot to be desired. Like I said, the penalties are crazy. Uh, and man, that's like I believe the third or fourth field goal to win the game that was like 55 or 60 yards or more that the Giants have faced in like the last 10 years. And this, I believe it was more than any other team. So, I remember Graham
So
Gano.
heartbreaking.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's no surprise to us Giants fans though. Um, so it's gonna be tough sledding for sure. Um, but like
I
I said,
see
the
a
Chiefs
silver
are
lining
unbeatable.
though. I see a silver lining from that game though. Even I don't say you could typically take too much away from a loss, and I don't know if Giants fans are, but it's kind of like I saw Philly struggle versus Dallas. And for a lot of people, Philly's a Super Bowl team. And it's kind of like the Giants seem to kind of like their ability to be in control. And then, yes, it fell apart in the end. But at the end of the day, I think it's like, hey, you're keeping up with a team better than kind of like the Super Bowl champions and the NFC favorites did. So, like, are you guys kind of like optimistic that like, hey, it's a 0-2, but it doesn't feel like 0-2 for you guys right now.
Oh, it definitely feels that first one was definitely an O. I'll tell you that.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, that was an O. But now that this one, yeah, this one it's not a could have won. It's actually it's a should have won. It really should be 1-1 right now.
yeah,
But I believe this is 0-2 now, like every year outside of 2 years for the past 10 years. 2016 and 2022 are the only other times.
yeah,
2022 was led by Daniel Jones. So what he did over the weekend, we are definitely getting into that a
yeah.
little bit. Because I
Uh,
have a lot to say about that actually.
your hair's on the
Um,
line.
I have a lot to say about that actually. Yes, yes. But um, but I think the Giants, I think the biggest enemy, just looking at like going into the year, is that schedule. It's just you think as a team that really was, a top five pick, you'd get an easy schedule, but the way things shook out, it just didn't pan out that way. And especially early on, there's really no soft spots. This could be the soft spot. It's wild to say that one of the best quarterbacks and one of the best coaches is a soft spot, but it is. This is a soft spot for you. I think you got to win this game because
Yeah.
the Chiefs offense, and it's weird saying this, Chief offense is subpar. It really is.
Mhm.
You got to lock them up. You got to shut them down.
They're
You
one
got to
dimensional. Yeah,
force Mahomes to throw the ball.
yeah,
Because he does throw interceptions. He does have games where he throws interceptions. So I think they need to get the run game going. Tyrone Tracy hasn't been effective this year. Cam Scatterbo a little bit last game. He's starting to show some signs. I think he should be the starter for this game. Put Tracy on as the second string, but we'll see what they end up doing with that. But I think the biggest key is getting Andrew Thomas back. When Andrew
mm,
Thomas, now I've heard rumors, I didn't see any reports today, but I've heard rumors that he may be able to start this week. And if you get him back, then I think you really got your offensive line more in shape and safe for somebody like Russ, but also safe for somebody like a Jackson Dart too. I don't think there's any chance that, at least I hope not, that they throw Jackson Dart out there without Andrew Thomas. Because if you saw that first game, especially, they were
yeah,
so poor, man. They were Swiss cheese out there. They were just gaping holes everywhere. Just,
yeah.
go ahead.
It's one of the worst things to do to a young quarterback is to kind of like give them the David Carr treatment, where it's like
Yeah.
they're kind of like gonna be constantly facing pressure. Ooh,
Or
I
dare I
was
say the Joe Burrow treatment.
Yeah,
We'll
I
get to
think
that
we'll
later
get to
too.
that too. But that's a sad one, but it's true where it's kind of like we see, and Calvin could talk about Andrew Luck, where it's kind of like young
Yep.
quarterbacks having to constantly kind of like suffer behind a bad O line. And I think that, but I'm looking at the schedule, I'm kind of like, where is the right spot to start? Jackson, is it versus the Patriots, like all the way in December, that Monday night? It's like, do you hold can Dayball hold out that long, even when it's kind of like I think his job's going to be on the line before Thanksgiving. So
Well, I think personally that's way too late to start Dart. By what week is that with the Pats? Let's just see here. That's got to be December. No, that's got to be probably week 14 or so.
yeah, first week of December. Yep, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, that's way too late. That's way too late. Let's see. So you got Kansas City. No, the answer is at New Orleans.
so you think in October? So it's
I think they're gonna
soon.
have to,
So
man. I think it could be if Andrew Thomas is back
yeah,
and Russ is more like week one Russ and
yeah,
week three and week four. I think that could be it, man. Because when are you getting him in here? You're not going to start him against the Eagles first start. That's
yeah.
crazy.
No, and
Denver
that's a
now.
short week
Now
too. The
Denver's
Eagles.
interesting. Or is that we're going to talk about that a little bit too? Or Denver
Yeah,
is Denver supposed to be a great defense, or maybe they're not as good, or maybe they are good and just Daniel Jones was balling out. We're going to get into that more later.
yep,
Uh, the Eagles again, the Niners, who they look actually better than you thought. Maybe at the Bears. That's the team. At the Bears, 11-9.
him versus Caleb would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
could see that
That
for
could be it. But even
the
then, you
red
start
spot.
him then. You have the next 2 weeks, the Packers and the Lions.
The defenses you don't want them to just yeah
There is no easy
face
schedule.
that
I
D
think
line.
I think those are your best shots though. At the Saints and at the Bears. Those are probably your best games.
So
Not
it's but he may, like you said, I could see where it's like, hey, if his job's on the line, Dayball, I think kind of like, yeah, hey, you may have to tough it out versus the Eagles on a short week or the Broncos. I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know.
hmm
And there's not
Now
tape
they
on
could
him.
go. There is another alternative. They could go Jameis. They could go James. They could go if Russ is really ineffective. They could throw out Jameis for a game or two. Like let's say they beat the Chiefs somehow,
Hmm.
okay, right, and they beat
God,
the
please.
Saints somehow, and now they're like 2-3, and then they go 2-4 against the Eagles, 2-5 against the Broncos, 2-6. You know what? You might be right. They may have to. Well, they could put Jameis in intermittently and then start Jackson Dart there, but you know I don't know. They're going to have to find some way to do it. So let's actually, as I believe Calvin is here now. Calvin, are you on video there? I don't see you, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
there you are. So let's go. Let's talk about who the Giants play in Week 3, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Sunday Night Football. That's a great matchup for the country. Anytime New York team plays on Sunday Night Football, I feel bad for the rest of the country, but I digress. So the Chiefs, I think, more than any time I can remember since Mahomes debuted, they're like ripe for the picking, man. You can beat this team. The Giants can beat this. Like, I'm not going into this game thinking they're not going to win. I would say they're probably not going to win, but they have a chance, man. Mahomes has never looked worse, and that's because his the players around him have never been worse with all the injuries. And it's crazy saying that about one of the best quarterbacks and one of the best coaches of all time. Um, what do you think, Calvin, about like the struggles that the Chiefs have been having? I know you've been loving it. Other than you loving it,
I
though, what do you think
I
about it?
just think that, you know, their devil magic is finally caught up with them. A lot of those games last year where they were winning, I think they had the record for consecutive one score games. One and you saw, like I said, they were getting bailed up by the refs. They were getting, you know, just unbelievable breaks. The one versus Oakland where he fumbled the snap on the kick is one of the most egregious things I've seen. And then the lucky block versus Denver. It takes skill to block kicks, but there was a lot of unique circumstances that they won games in last year, and now their chickens are coming to roost. Honestly, I know a lot of it is blaming Rashee Rice being out and Xavier Worthy. That another thing that I don't know if we want to get into it or not, but I know a lot of the Chiefs players were wearing free four shirts, like in solidarity with Rashee Rice. The man, he committed like four felonies, and they caught him on tape running away from the scene of a crime. So I don't know why they would be screaming free four. Um, that's like me going wearing a free OJ shirt. It doesn't
Half
make any
people did it.
yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. Um, but other than that, it just seems like I know they improved on the offensive line. Pacheco really hasn't been effective for them, um, especially coming back off of the broken leg. Um, so yeah, I'm not saying that the league has caught up to them and they're gonna be they're gonna miss the playoff by any circumstances or anything like that. I still think they're one of the most dangerous teams in the league, but um, it's fine. They're finally having what happens to most teams is just consistently happening at their wide receiver position where people are getting hurt. Travis Kelsey is regressing, but that's to be expected because he's 36,
I don't.
37
He's just
years old.
regressing because that man's old. He's our age. He's a
Yeah,
little
it's
older than
not it's
us.
it's it's not like he's like not a talented dude. He just got old.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about that time. I will go on record and say that I think that the Eagles have the Chiefs numbers, and if they played again for God forbid, another Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl, I would kill myself. But um, I would heavily bet. I would be willing to bet a lot on the Eagles just because I think that they have their number. They're inside their head, especially with that Chris Jones thing at the end of the game where he was talking about you don't have 100 yards. That's not the. There's never been a time where you're playing for stats. You play to win the game, as um, one of my favorite sports broadcasters, Herm Edwards, used to say. You play to win the game. But yeah, I'm
Tell you,
enjoying the
man,
downfall.
it's it struggles
It's
though
getting dark
for
out.
the
It's
Chiefs.
it's getting dark out. The
If the
one bright
Chiefs
spot is
lose, if the Chiefs lose Week 3 against, first of all, at the Giants, that would be a disgraceful loss. But
I
you know who
would
they
love
play
it.
Week 4? They play the Ravens, man. and
Panic
then they play the
button.
Yeah,
Jags. Okay,
Mhm.
maybe they can beat the Jags. Maybe, although I
but
remember I
there's
said
a
they're
there's
play. Hold on,
if they
hold
lose
on.
versus
Then
the
after the Jags, then they got the Lions. So it could be over, man. It could be really over if they lose to the Giants.
they can go
If you
0 and
go
5 if
0
they
and
lose to the
4,
Giants right here.
Yeah, this could be it. And I'm going to throw this out there. I wonder is anybody. I don't really go on Twitter much these days for a good reason, as we were talking pre-pod. But the thing is, how come do people talk about Andy Reid getting up there in age? Do we think
No,
like
not
maybe well,
really.
starting to think about moving on? Maybe.
I don't think that the issues that they're having are coaching. I think it's it's the availability of the players. The players not
All
being
right.
healthy. But
I
I
mean,
don't I think
Reed's getting up there, man. Reed's getting
how
up
old is
there.
Andy Reid? Like 66, 67?
I think he's like 68 or 9, no? Let's say 67, 67.
Yeah, so I think that he could probably coach for another 5 or 6 years for sure, at minimum. But you see Pete Carroll going into Pete Carroll's like 72 or something, and he's still young and spry.
I know, but
If Andy lays off the cheeseburgers for a while, he could probably, you know, coast
but
that's
another
going to be
10
tough
years
for him,
maybe.
man. That's his kryptonite. I don't think he can do that. I
yeah.
think he'd give up coaching before he gave up cheeseburgers. But Steven, what do you think about the Chiefs? Do you think they bounce back against the Giants? Do you think they like? I believe you had them. You were the only one I think of us three not having them in the AFC title game this year. So
Yeah.
you kind of foresaw this a little bit.
Well,
So what do you think?
not this though. This is like their offense just hasn't looked explosive, and it's kind of like it's very slow, and being other teams being able to capitalize off the mistakes of Mahomes is kind of like also something that we haven't seen before because he's had a defense that's kind of like really helped him, and kind of like anytime he would struggle or start slow, hey, you have a defense. Bags was kind of like making it work. But yeah, at this point, I think Owen, if they lose to the Giants, it's not panic time. If they lose to the Ravens,
It's
it's
not
panic
panic
time.
time if they lose to the
Oh, and three,
Giants.
I don't, because you'll still
Oh,
be
I
in the
think it's
playoff.
panic time.
Because
It's panic time now, but it's
no,
definitely panic
no,
No,
time if
no,
no,
they
no,
no,
no. I don't agree. It's panic time now. No,
no,
I don't agree
no.
with that.
okay.
What is it? Because look, they lost. Look, can we be shocked they lost to the Eagles? No. The only loss that was really like, oh, a little bit shocking was the Chargers, I
I
think. And
wasn't shocked that they lost to the Chargers
On a neutral site.
so then, how could you say it's like Panic City now?
because you're 0 and 3. Just
Oh, no, no, but you're saying now at 0 and 2. You're saying that it's
yeah, I'm
Panic.
saying I said if they lose to the Giants, I think that
Oh, then I agree.
I think that there's some alarm bells that should be going off now. But if you lose to the Giants, you should be full panic mode.
Oh, yeah,
But
I agree.
there's
I
definite
agree.
because there's already things that are wrong. Rasheed Rice, he's coming back from the dislocated shoulder, but it's tackle football. So if he gets tackled wrong, he's a slender guy anyway. So if he gets tackled wrong, that's going to end his season because he's probably going to just have to do the surgery. Rasheed Rice, you're going to get him back week 7. He's still going to have to ramp up to be able to be effective in games. Kelsey is obviously on the downside, and they're not going to put Noah Gray into as much because it would be an embarrassment to Travis Kelsey. And I don't think they want to embarrass him like that.
He should have stayed retired, man.
I think
Go get
Yeah,
so.
so
married and go off to the sunset.
there's already and Pacheco, Pacheco is running behind the line like Stevie Wonder. Um, so
Yeah.
it's not great.
Well,
There's a lot of things that are wrong already, and then this isn't even me mentioning how they got cooked up by the Chargers in the first game.
But
The
just to
second
be
game
a
was a
wild
lot better.
card, but just to be a wild card, like say, hey, the I mean, not Giants, the Chargers go ahead and win the division, even if like it's, hey, we know what we could do in the playoffs. We just need to get in.
I
I've
don't
seen
think that
teams do that.
I don't think they have the horses this year. This is coming from somebody that's terrified of the Chiefs. I don't want to see another, you know, I'd rather, you know, hit my dick with a hammer 17 times than watch another Chiefs Super Bowl run. But I'm saying this objectively, like I just it doesn't. There's something seems a little bit off, and you can visually see it when it's happening. And I don't think it's one of those mid-season lulls. I think that this might just end up being a down season for them.
I think too. Well, I mean, if this helps them any, Jalen Royals was a full participant in practice on Wednesday, so I mean, he may be
Yeah,
coming
but
back, albeit
but
he's a rookie.
when you start naming people like that, like I saw, I don't know why, but my algorithm on YouTube gives me like Chief stuff sometimes, and some dude was like, "Oh,
Because
Justin
you're
Ross is
such a
coming back."
hater. That's
Reach
why.
bait.
Yeah, but they were like, "Oh, Justin Ross is coming back." If you're betting this much, you're putting this much stock into Justin Ross coming back, you're in trouble already.
Maybe I'm crazy, but like if they could kind of like get more out of Tyquan Thornton and just being able to kind of like players like that, Hollywood Brown, kind of like just you have to just get by right now. It's just stay afloat. And
I,
I think that's what the Chiefs can do. You could go 0-3 and then be 3
you
and 3
can't. I don't know
after.
why y'all keep
Yeah.
saying you
Yeah.
can go 0-3. I don't think you can go 0-3.
I think you could go 0-3 with
I think you can.
Patrick
I think you
Mahomes
can.
and Andy Reid. You can. I think
I
so.
agree you
That
can,
There,
but
Ravens
there,
game
there's
was
but hold
been
on.
awesome.
Can
one.
I say something? There's one
There's
caveat
been
though.
one team since the turn of the century to make the
Okay, but
playoffs.
Calvin, there's an extra game
Since
now. Number one, you have the best
that's
quarterback ever. You have one of the best coaches
No
ever.
sense.
I'm finna.
Hold on, but here's but here
I'm about to hang up.
so in theory, I see what you're saying about 0-3. The problem is in week 4 you're playing the Ravens. That's why I would be panicked if
That's
I'm
the
0-3.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're looking 0-4 and possibly 1-5 in your front view mirror there.
If you could come back from 0-4. I don't know if that's ever happened. A team coming from
I think
0-4
it
I
to
just,
did.
I just,
There
I
was
just,
a
it's,
team.
I,
I
that's
just don't
not
remember
true.
who it was. It was like
But
in the 90s.
yeah.
okay, pull that up because I don't think that's true.
I think there was.
It could have been the strike season.
My thing is
1992 San Diego Chargers
my
started
my
0-4 and made the playoffs.
my thing is
So I was right.
if the Chiefs the what regardless of how we were looking at things, the Chiefs were definitely looking at that last game as a must win for them, and they didn't win. So
No, I hear you.
we might not be saying, oh, it's panic time, but they're over there definitely panicking. So
If you can't beat the Giants, I mean, uh, they beat themselves. I mean, I don't know what to say if you can't
If
beat the
we
Giants.
get the rest from last week, we might
I
see the
think
Giants win. I don't know.
I think it's probably gonna be a bloodbath the other way, to be honest. And that'll make me sad because the whole narrative will shift because they beat the Giants, but they'll act like all the ails of the world have been fixed if they beat them. So
But let's get to another team that we're really hot to talk about today. So we were talking earlier about, I was saying Dable, yeah, I don't think he's as good as an offensive guru as people thought he was. But there was that one bright spot, right, in 2022 with Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones. So I don't know, man. Should I be worried about my hair or what? I don't know who's more worried. Who's more worried? Me that I have to cut my hair or Calvin that he's not going to get Arch Manning next year, not going to get a high pick. Who do you think has it worse? I don't know.
I actually don't. I'm not. I'm less concerned about getting Arch Manning now because the way he's playing, he's probably not going to come out this year anyway.
Well, I
No,
thought
he's
he was
And
the
trying to
next best
fall.
thing. What happened to
and
that?
if
He's
he
Everybody
and
trying
if
to
wants
he
Arch
fall
and
to
Manning.
if
the
he
Colts right now.
and
Is
if
what
he
he's
yeah
doing.
if he did come out, it would probably be some type of Aaron Rodgers situation where we can pick him
What about
27th
bust for
overall.
Nuss? You got a bust for Nuss.
I'm not going to do that. Yeah, not even getting into that. But this is one of my things, and I don't want to get off on a college football tangent right now, but quarterback play across all of college football is down right now, and that kind of gives me a little bit of, like I said, he like if he goes out here against UTSA and he fucking stinks it up, I'm gonna be worried. But I've seen top level like Cade Klubnik has not been playing well. Lenora Sellers hasn't been playing the best. Grant Nussmeyer hasn't been playing the best. So I feel a little bit of relief in that, but I'm still. I think all of them are going to get it together. It's just down across the board. I don't know what they got. The NIL money has been spent mostly on the defensive ball on a lot of these teams, but yeah,
But
it's.
how do you feel that? So then you should be happy then that the Colts are really taking it to the rest of the league here. 2-0,
I
revamped Danny Dimes.
I'm just. It's exciting. It's exciting to win. Miami game. It was kind of. I was like, oh, it's Miami. Denver. Denver. I thought Denver was going to be very good, even if they weren't good on offense. I thought that they would be very good on defense, and Danny lit them up. So I got to give credit where credit is due. My thing is though, like I'm ready for a complete regime change. I want Steichen gone. I want Ballard gone,
Not happening
and
now.
and now Danny Dimes, unless the wheels fall off here completely. Um,
That's your quarterback.
they're gonna buy him another season, and
Yup,
that's gonna piss me off.
yup, yup,
That
yup.
sounds
You're
So
stuck with
familiar.
him. Yup,
yeah,
yup.
we're in a tough situation. We're gonna be going on year 10 of Ballard, trading down in the draft and doing this and
Right
doing
now, he's
that.
probably saying, "Y'all owe me an apology for trying to
And
say that scrub Anthony
I'm not
Richardson should have
I'm
started."
not I'm not apologizing to him.
Well, he probably thinks you
Well,
should.
I,
I don't fucking
well,
care what he
if
thinks.
Carly Ursay, if she's really on the sidelines taking notes and kind of like listening to all the play calls, and I think it sounds like, hey, you guys have like a real micromanagement kind of like hands-on situation where it's really going to pay off for you guys in terms of like getting the most out of Danny Dimes knows that if he's going to stink it up at some point, the owner's going to hear it and hear what's going on, that back and forth. She's right there. So it's kind of like, I think
Do we think
your
she
Colts
knows
are
what's
in a good,
going on?
yeah,
Not to be sensitive.
1000%. She's taking notes. She's out there taking
I be
notes
taking.
like a
I took a lot of notes in classes that I failed before, so that means jack shit to me.
I think she's paying attention, but at the same time, I think like, hey, if Danny Dimes, like Daniel Jones, is gonna revamp his career at this point, I think this is kind of like a good environment. If correct me if I'm wrong, he had connections to like the Mannings coming out of
Yeah,
school too,
because
didn't he?
He went to the
him and
passing
David,
academy.
yeah, and
Okay.
David Cutcliffe was his coach, and
Correct.
David Cutcliffe was
At
Peyton
Duke.
Manning's coach too. Yeah, so
I could
that
see it where maybe this is like his gosh, it's can he be like a Jeff Garcia type quarterback now where it's kind of like, hey, you could be able to plug and play into I could see it
I
where
I
yeah.
think a better comparison for like best case scenario as of right now. Like I still need to see how this season plays out, but the 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 revival of Baker Mayfield's career is kind of
Oh no!
following
Oh
a
my
similar.
God!
Oh,
No!
you're
No!
hoping
No!
for
It's
No!
that
kind
high
of
of a
That's embarrassing. I know. No,
no.
stop it.
I'm
Stop
just
it. There's no way he turns. He's
it's
never been Baker Mayfield, and he never will be as
that's
good as
not
Baker
that's not
Mayfield.
what I'm saying. That's
So
not what I'm saying. I'm
no,
saying well, he's playing
it's
well
not.
through the
It's
first
not.
two
It is
seasons.
not best. It is not best
It
case
doesn't have
scenario.
to it
It's
doesn't
not
have
best
to
case
be. Can I
scenario
talk?
because he's
God
not that
damn.
good. He's not
Can I
that
talk?
good. He's not that good. I'm talking. He's not that good. It can't be best case scenario if his ceiling's not that high.
maybe
Sorry,
he's in the
can't
right
happen.
system right now
It
though.
doesn't matter if his ceiling is that high. I'm saying that he's playing well right now. So if he continues to play this well, who's to say he can't? If he continues to play this well with that defense, it doesn't matter. This guy's going to be the limit. So it doesn't matter if he's as good as Baker Mayfield or if he's shit compared to Baker Mayfield. If he keeps playing like this, it's good enough to win.
It's good enough to win. I'll give you that. I mean, I'm just saying. You just said Baker Mayfield. I
That's
just
the
don't think
whole
he'll ever be that good.
point. That's the whole point. I don't care if he's Baker Mayfield. I don't care if he's Tim Couch.
Well,
If
you
he's
said
playing good
that.
enough to win,
So
I said
now,
is following the same trajectory because Baker Mayfield was fucking rushing the passer in Carolina. They had him doing defensive lineman drills in Carolina, and he
and
bounced around from
I,
team to team, and then he ended up with a team that he ended up playing good for.
I mean, Baker Mayfield, correct me if I'm wrong, had one of the best rookie seasons of quarterback that first year.
I don't know about that, but
It was
okay.
pretty good. It was pretty good. It was pretty
I
good.
think
People were thinking,
he pulled up like weeks. I don't know. All I remember is him catching the 2 point conversion or the touchdown
but
against the Jets.
that
I
was Daniel Jones has never even had a. I mean, this is only 2 games, so you don't want to count this year. He's never even had a good season ever. Even that 2022 was a total fluke. They had an easy schedule. And by the way, the Colts
you
have
can't say that he
this.
hasn't been
This is not
hasn't.
different. I see this season as a Colts if they make the playoffs as very much like 2022 because
But you
Giants because they have an easy schedule coming up. So the Titans, the Raiders, the Titans again. They do have a couple hard games. The Cards, who knows? Chargers, good, but
Your hair's in
I could
trouble
see
from what you just listed
the
off.
hair could be in trouble. I guess the hair could be in trouble, especially if they
but
start capitalizing on these easy games. But I guess in the big picture, I don't see. him as like a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback.
But
He's never been a good quarterback.
you can't have it cut both ways where you're saying, oh, he's never had a good season. The 2022
Yeah,
season is a fluke. Because
it was.
if you're saying if it's a
I
fluke
watched
season,
it
it's
with my
still a
own
good
eyes.
season. It's a
It
good
wasn't
season.
good.
So
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. How about that? I didn't enjoy it.
all right, you
How could
got
I
it.
enjoy something that led to him getting signed and ruined 2 more years after? It wasn't enjoyable.
But are you feeling optimistic about the Colts like now really being in the playoff hunt though? Kind of
I don't
like, yeah,
I,
Playoff hunt's a little early for that, but I know what you're saying. But how about better than we thought? How about that? Better than
okay,
we
yeah,
thought
yeah.
so far. Do you feel good
yeah.
about that?
I just I'm used to the Colts competing for Super Bowl, so it's still an adjustment period for me. Like I'm not really I can't get excited. I don't feel excited about
Super
my team
Bowls.
until we're, perennial playoff team. So
You put a plural on the end of Super Bowl? Interesting.
well,
And
were
I
they not Super Bowl
apologize to Jeff
contenders?
Garcia.
Yeah, the Jeff Garcia one
Yeah,
was
I'm
well, why are
sorry,
you
Jeff.
wait, why are you applying why are you
Yeah,
Jeff Garcia
I
was a
jumped the gun.
journeyman a journeyman quarterback.
Well, I think that's where Daniel Jones is headed at this point. But
Are they that different? I mean, who do you think's
I mean,
better, honestly?
I think
I think
currently
Jeff's
I
a
Jeff
would
little
take,
better.
Garcia is better.
Yeah,
well,
I
I
would too.
like Daniel's athleticism, but yeah, as a quarterback, I would take Jeff. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to see. Now, when should I get worried about the hair? Let's see. So the Titans, okay, right. If they go like five and if they go like if they beat the Rams and they go 4-0, I think that's when it's time to panic for me. Yeah, I think that's a 3-0. Okay, 3-0 or 4-1. I'd say it's start to
And
get
if
time
I'm
to panic.
Anthony Richardson right now, I'm asking for a trade because it's kind of like, all right, this is the guy
Yeah,
you guys
man.
want.
This looks really bad for him now.
Yeah,
Now it looks like he's the now for wrong, rightly or wrongly, Calvin. Now
yes.
the league's going to
Yeah,
say,
no,
"Oh, it wasn't. It's not Steichen the problem. Richardson was the
I
problem.
I
He's
agree,
the
but
problem."
I think that probably they probably didn't trust him to make certain
Yeah,
plays as well. And that just comes down to he needed to be in the study book a little bit more. He needed to be more accurate most of the time, and he brought this discussion upon himself. So it's hard to feel bad for him. I was still rooting for him. I still want to see him do good. I think he's an athletic freak. I thought somebody said, I think it was like Jeff T or something, said he could switch to tight end. He can't stay healthy at quarterback, so there's no way he could switch to tight end. But I would like to. I mean, the dude is a. Does he have a Terrell Pryor? Does he just do an early career and just say fuck it, go for it? Because
I think some team is going to try to
The
take a
Bengals
risk
should
on
be
the quarterback.
calling now. I think the Bengals should because
you think
what
the
do you have
Bengals
to
should be
lose?
calling for
What do you have to
No,
Anthony
no,
lose?
no,
Richardson?
no. I don't think
I
so.
think
I don't.
Jake Browning is
He did good last year,
yeah,
actually.
he's a
So
good backup.
I
He's a
don't see
good
it,
He's
man.
already
backup
been
for
in the
like
system.
4 games. I don't think he's a good backup for 3. We'll talk more, but I don't think. Hey, at this point, I'd rather go with swing for the fence right now. But
So let's.
I don't think swinging for the fence is Anthony Richardson though. That's just
if
me
you
because what is the upside? Is it if you magically hit on Anthony Richardson, then what are you going to do? You're not going to trade Joe Burrow.
flip him, no, you flip him right after. I think that's
Okay,
what you do.
that's
But
I'll,
valid.
I'll s- yeah, I'll say this. I think Anthony Richardson's not a trade in season type of guy. That's a guy you want to get in the off season. You get him in your system. You get him to learn your playbook. You try to get him into your culture, and you try to almost rehab his image and rehab his style of play, and really try to get him on the straight and narrow, so to speak, and get him, hopefully more motivated, like you said, maybe more into the playbook and stuff like that. I don't know what team that would be that would take the chance on him. The Browns next year?
I
I
don't.
don't
He
know.
should not. He should definitely 1,000,000% not go to the Browns.
Well, he doesn't have a choice, man.
I'm
He
not
doesn't have
talking
a
about.
choice.
I'm talking about for him. He shouldn't want to go there. If the
Well,
Browns
he
trade
doesn't
for him,
have, he
fine.
lost that right, man. He doesn't have a choice anymore. We'll go where someone trades for him. I'm just trying to think of other teams. The Raiders?
if
Gino's
he
getting
could be
older.
behind Gino, if he could be behind Gino,
The Rams is a good place for somewhere
The
to try
Rams,
and
that's
trade.
an
yeah.
interesting fit.
Yes, somewhere
The,
where there
the,
isn't this,
the
older
Saints, the Saints are going to have
QB.
a high pick, though. Um,
Also the Raiders. If I'm the Raiders, I would look at him too.
Yeah, but I wouldn't look now. I would look more off season. I just don't see the sense of it now. But we'll see. We'll see. I think we got to talk about that Thursday night game. Uh, that was a pretty big statement win, I thought, at least in the early going by the Packers. You know, I did say that the Commanders would. I felt that they were going to take a little bit of a step back just because of
Right.
a second year slump there. But I don't think this game really says as much about the Commanders as it says about the Packers. I think the Packers now with the addition of Micah Parsons, I think they're a team to really be feared in the end, not just in the NFC North, but in the NFC and the league, honestly. With the NFC really being what we thought going into the year, the Eagles, and then who's going to take that step in the second slot there to be the biggest contenders. I think the Packers could be it. Uh, Love has been playing good. The only thing I don't trust about that team maybe they're wide. They don't have a true number one wide receiver, but
Mm-hmm.
I think Love could be, just really kind of entering his prime right now. And if he's just playing at above average level, I think that could be
Consistently,
good
yeah.
enough to even, worry about a true number one. What did you guys take? Like, what was your guys' take from that game? You think it was more about the Packers or more about the Commanders?
Oh
Steven,
gosh,
you go
I
first.
I I think it was a little bit more about the Commanders. Is what in my mind they have to win the division now. It's kind of like I
Hmm.
don't want to necessarily see that team go on the road. I don't want to have. I think they would be more at risk of probably failing on the road than kind of like trying to secure that number one seed, which I think they should be in. Yeah, I'm still pretty high on the Commanders, but I don't think that they're necessarily a team fit to traveling in hostile environments. If they had to go back to Green Bay in January, if they had to go to Detroit in
Yeah.
January, it's like I'd probably be more like, hey, this is not, you need to have those games be at home, and they need to figure something out with the run game because right now I think the run game is something that I think helps develop a young quarterback, being able to have a running back that you could really trust to probably have it. You want a workhorse to at least take like 15 to 18 carries. I don't think they have anybody who's getting close to double digits. I think Eckler's out. Um,
Eckler's out for the year with the Achilles.
yeah, so now it's kind of like they may even need to start looking at kind of like seeing what trade options they might need to be looking for around the trade deadline for a running back to kind of just kind of like help get them through some of that winter football that they
I mean,
plan on playing.
Krosky Merritt had a good showing his first game, but it was against the Giants. Nobody counts. That's not a real NFL team. So, like I was telling my buddy Lawrence last week, he thought, wow, Washington looked good that first game. I said, yeah, but that wasn't against a real NFL team. But to your point, yeah, I mean, they did trade Robinson, right? They were comfortable enough with the running back room to trade Robinson before the week one. So they obviously do believe in Merritt, Krusty Merritt, and Eckler, but of course now Eckler's gone for the year. What do you
Yeah.
think, Calvin? What were your takes from that game?
I didn't get to watch most of that game because my job decided to send me out to do something at 2 in the morning. So I was asleep during most of it. Um, but yeah, I didn't see any of that game. I'm gonna be completely honest.
It's
Okay,
cool because
okay. Well,
it's
at
like
least honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, I usually I was fully intended on watching it, and then I had to end up going to sleep. So I missed a ton of that, which I was really excited to looking forward to the game. But I just think,
So go ahead.
going forward over the season, I'm excited to see how Micah and Rashawn Gary work together because
mm,
I think that defense is going to be very formidable.
Somebody were saying they should build a statue outside of Lambeau, Jerry Jones, if they win the Super Bowl.
I would not
they
do that,
name
but
streets after people.
We know
They
Steven
it,
wouldn't. Steven doesn't believe in statues,
but
so
Jerry should get a street named after him in Green Bay,
you
like
believe in
for that
streets,
trade.
just not
The
statues.
street must yeah,
what's
definitely
your
Martin
deal? What's
Luther
your
King
deal with
Jr. Street
statues?
statues. I feel it's kind of like you're really idolizing somebody at that point, and it's kind of like that goes beyond just
And the street
retiring the
isn't?
jersey.
Isn't the
Yeah,
street honoring it too?
well, for that trade that Jerry gifted them, Micah Parsons, and I think Jerry said there was another team that called too. Was it
And the
the
Jets,
Jets? And it's kind of
and
like
Oh yeah.
they offered Quentin Williams.
yeah, I think that I think Dallas there's multiple people in that office that might have dementia or something because it's
But
kind of like it makes no sense to be
and
like, yeah. Mhm.
I think Quentin Williams is a great player, but I just like for my if you're going to the Jets, you're it's kind of career suicide at this point. The Jets are what the Jets are, so like I wouldn't have wanted to go. I think Green Bay was the one of the best places he could have landed.
Yeah, yeah.
And tell you, you know something that Green Bay has in terms of like I guess winning culture over like other places
Mhm.
is that there ain't shit else to do there but football. So
Yep.
you know they're going to be invested in the game and winning, right?
Mhm.
They're really what is it like 5,000 people? No, I probably kid. It's probably like 20,000 people, but still, it's the smallest market in America that has a pro sports team like that. So you know they're really focused on football. Hey, one thing before we got Chaz coming on in about 6 minutes or so. Did you guys see the fight on the weekend?
Oh yes. So
What were your
I
takes
didn't.
on that, Steven?
one, it's Canelo. I think, hey, if maybe time to kind of like slow it down and kind of like wrap it up. He may do exhibition fights, but I think that's definitely it just looked like somebody who's on their last legs. And then Crawford, oh man, like he was just like playing with his food the entire time. And but it was
Mm.
kind of like playing with your dessert or playing with your bedtime snack with like how late that match
Off.
was. Yeah.
And you're a West Coast guy.
Yeah,
How about
it
me on the East Coast? One fucking a.m.
man, it I wouldn't have stayed up for it because it
I
the
I
actual main
I
event
didn't.
wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And they're lucky it was Netflix. If people actually had to pay pay-per-view and then you get a 30-minute band intro and like people need to some people have to go to work the next morning. Some people have stuff to do. Whatever it is, like you
Or
can't
some
just
people are just old like me and don't have the energy to stay up like that. But I
so
think I think Bud Crawford really cemented his legacy with that fight. Um,
yeah.
you know, a lot of people compared him to Mayweather because of the undefeated, but people are saying too, now it seems like Crawford is elevated even beyond Mayweather because of the quality of opponents that he's faced. He didn't duck the smoke, with the
Mhm.
whole Pacquiao thing with Mayweather. All due respect to him, he was a great fighter as well.
Yeah.
But Bud Crawford, man. And actually Canelo, I believe, said he fought both of them. He said
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford's the better fighter. So, do you have any thoughts, Calvin? Do you see that fight at all?
I don't really. I didn't get. I missed a lot of stuff this weekend, so I didn't really see too much. I did see. I saw part of the video where Crawford hit him with a right hook, and he turned his head and he looked confused. He was doing like Chris Tucker in Rush Hour when he was like, "Which one of y'all hit me?" That's the only part I saw. But yeah, I didn't really see too much. But shout out to Bud Crawford for doing his thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, it was a good fight. I mean, but it was a good fight because I think it cemented the legacy of Crawford. But there was, Steven's point, I think it was pretty decisive on who the victor was in
On
that.
who got cooked. I did also see Max Kellerman say the
Yeah.
line to you have to bring ass to get ass, and I will still never understand what the fuck that means. I wish people would
So
stop saying
bring
it.
ass to get ass.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And it's actually it's a freaky line. So I wish people would stop
Yeah,
saying
that's if you say that like in a vacuum, right? And like
ah.
without context, that's what I would think it's like a freaky
Nah,
line.
it
Yeah.
sounds like a prison term. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
if you want this cornbread, you got to bring ass to get ass, and I'm cool on all that.
Quid pro quo. That's what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
I'm good, actually. I don't want to bring.
Uh,
I don't want to bring ass. I don't want to get ass in this situation.
Yeah, that's
shout
interesting.
out to
Max
Max
should
Kellerman.
explain what that is. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did kill it on that coverage, though. He
you
did.
should
He
ask
did
him.
kill it. You should get him on the pod.
I should
Talk a
ask
little boxing.
ChatGPT. Actually, you think I should ask ChatGPT? I'll
Do
do it
it. Do
right
it.
now.
You know what?
Actually,
Do it
I'm
right
gonna do it.
now while
I'm
you're
gonna do it
on.
right now.
Right now
Let's see.
while we
Let's
wait
see
for
what this
Chaz.
term
Got
means.
nothing else better to do.
What does the term you have to bring as to get as mean?
Let's see.
Sounds freaky. That phrase
This
does sound a little wild out of context. It's slangy and somewhat crude, what you're saying. You have to put in effort, contribute, or bring something of value if you expect to get something in return. The as part
quid
is
pro
just
quo.
colorful language. It doesn't literally mean sex. In everyday use, it might be reciprocal. Oh my God, reciprocity. You can't just show
Reciprocity.
up. Yeah, all right, fuck you. You can't just show up empty-handed and expect rewards, whether that's in dating, hustling, friendships. It says, would you like to break down some less extravagant? It says, and less freaky. I did struggle with
I
saying
still don't get it.
reciprocity, but one of my coworkers one time, I was talking to him and I was like, "Hey man, do you think this person is condescending?" And he was like, "Don't use them big ass words with me." And
What?
I was very fucking embarrassed for him. Actually, it was funny as
Oh, I
fuck.
would be too. Condescending to me. Yeah.
I was like, "Condescending is not a big word," but it was
Sounds
fu-
like I don't want to
it
know
was
when
so
he dropped
fucking
out.
it was so fucking funny. It was hilarious.
Man,
I still remind him of it to this day.
condescending. That's funny. That's funny. But any other football takes real quick before we have Chaz on? Real quick, because we're gonna get into the Ravens, obviously, with him, talk some more contenders, who's the contenders, who's the pretenders, who's the best 2-0 or the best 0-2, who's the worst 2-0. Um,
We shouldn't too
any
many
other?
people too much bail on that fucking. Oh, you're pretending. The beginning of the
Hey,
season.
no, okay. Actually, wait, Steve, didn't you have a take about Sunday night football or Monday night football rather?
So just
Steve?
in kind of like these, like I think doing the doubleheader games, it kind of like for like Monday nights, that takes away the entire purpose of what Monday night's supposed to be. When you do like two Sunday nights, you're kind of like you're taking away from that primetime element. And I
Wait, wait,
think
wait. When was
we
there
have to
two
get
two?
back
When was there
traditional.
two Sunday night games?
I mean,
Monday night. I
Monday night,
Oh,
misspoke.
okay.
Monday night, but it's like
No,
you're taking
Sunday
away
night will be
from
next year probably.
it. Yeah, I can't deal with some of this stuff anymore. They just need to kind of go back to how things were. You have your Sunday games, you have your Sunday night, and you have your Monday night. This Thursday night, kind of like just following back with like the Packers and the Commanders, like the presentation felt pretty bad. It's like it Al Michaels, he's phoning it in. He's just cashing his
Oh,
check
Al
from
Michael's
Amazon.
I,
washed.
oh my
It
God.
hurts
Al
Al
to
Michael's
Michaels
been
see.
is still
washed for 10 years, bro.
he's still the GOAT, but yeah.
Who cares? Goats die. Goats have a lifespan, right?
I
So,
will I will say he couldn't have been the worst presentation though, because whoever was calling that Raiders Chargers game on the regular broadcast was fucking awful. I felt
It's
like I
not
was watching
watchable.
I
Yeah.
felt like I was watching a golf match. I don't know if you guys heard the commentary during that game, but it was Orlovsky, Lewis Riddick, and somebody else. I don't even know who it was, but
was that
whoever
that
the
wasn't that wasn't Rich Eisen, was it?
no, but Rich is kind of funny sometimes. Like there's I don't know.
I like Rich. I just don't like him as an announcer.
Yeah, same.
Chris Fowler. Chris Fowler was calling Raiders.
That's
That's
Chris
it.
Fowler.
So wait, it could okay. Then he
Steven's
must have been
cousin.
he must have been sick then, because that
It,
he usually is not that monotone. I was trying to think if it was him or not, but he sounded rough that
he
game. I couldn't
he
even
didn't
tell that
sound
was him.
into the game or like
Yeah, he said,
yeah.
but I think he was calling like the not the Masters, but the tennis events recently. So he's probably, they probably got him cooked back to back to back.
Yeah,
So
I
I'll
hear
shoot him some bail.
I hear you. I hear you. So we got our guest here, Chaz in the house. Chaz,
What's
what's
up,
going on,
Chaz?
bro?
Yo, how are y'all doing? I'm just
What's up,
Hey,
my
chilling, getting
boy?
ready for football.
getting ready for some football.
Yes,
How do you
sir.
like your Ravens this year, man? How do you think so actually let me ask you this.
hmm
I know like was the last few years, right? It feels like it's been like Super Bowl or bust for the Ravens. It feels like it anyway from the
Mhm.
outside. Like if they get to say like the AFC title game again, or if they get to the Super Bowl and lose, this time, is that a failed season for the Ravens or what?
Mm.
I think it all depends on how it happens. It's obviously Super Bowl or bust, but it's just been so demoralizing how it's happened each year.
Facts.
Like Lamar hasn't killed it. Our defense has been like I think we've had like 3 sacks or something crazy. The last couple like it's been pretty bad. I think Lamar has like 3 playoff wins. And like each of those wins, we're like, all right, we're playing. like
The
CJ Stroud.
Steelers.
Young,
They
yeah,
keep playing
like
the Steelers one.
it's never been anything crazy. So if he goes out and our defense like folds in the Super Bowl per se, or even like the championship, it'll be a little bit less bad. But like Ravens fans are just, I'm typically like a negative Ravens fan, I guess.
Really?
So yeah,
You strike me as positive. You know what's funny about you because you're also a Knicks fan. You seem like a positive Knicks fan, but I guess you're more of a negative Ravens fan. That's funny. That's
to
funny.
some degree. So like even for the year we like last time we won the Super Bowl, like I wanted us to fire Harbaugh. Like I'm still on
Wait,
like
what?
yeah. There
You
was
wanted
like
them
in
to
the
fire
Ravens
after he
community, it
won,
was like, yo, we need to start Tyrod.
but after they won,
Wow.
you wanted them fired.
So
Oh
you
no,
want
no,
him
no, not
definitely
after
gone
our one.
now.
Not after our one. It was after I think it was after we lost to the then Redskins, because we lost in like overtime against Kirk Cousins.
Demonetized.
Yeah, it was like RG3 got hurt. We lost to Kirk Cousins on like a draw play. And it's like they were still terrible at that time for the most part. Uh and since then it's been like coaches have kind of been carrying his team. Like I'm always like, yo, I miss Gary Kubiak. John doesn't really do anything aside from scream at people. And then
Mm.
even now he's more so like a relationship guy. So our defensive coordinator now I like a lot because he's a former linebacker on the Ravens, had like a spine
Is
injury.
it Zach Orr?
Yeah, Zach Orr. Like he was my guy. He had a little neck
Yeah.
injury. I'm like, all right, he's ass. Like it was a good story, but like we can't develop coaches anymore, especially when people were saying McDonald like wanted to be the head coach, and that was almost like a thing.
I
Do we
think
keep McDonald or like stick with Harbaugh and just promote Orr? And I still feel like our defense hasn't been the same. Like on paper, this should be the best Ravens defense player wise, but
I
it's just not
agree.
really doing anything.
So you're on the fire. So if the Ravens don't get it, let's say they lose like in the first round this year, are you
Mhm.
on? You're on the fire Harbaugh train?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I actually brought that up. I believe it was last week. I said, why does it feel like that I don't see enough smoke for John Harbaugh and his job there? Because I feel like the
It's been
mainstream media
bad,
they don't.
man.
Don't
We
Yeah,
do
I'm
had
it.
sure.
Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson, and starting receivers, and people call Lamar ass. It's just not. It's not good.
But
And
unless
go
there's
ahead,
a
Steven.
plan in place, it's coming from like a Hall of Fame coach. Well, having a Hall of Fame coach, and then yeah, we're ready to move on. I've changed my views entirely with like coaching
Mhm.
changes. I think you guys have somebody ride it out. Like you don't want to throw your head coach away. You
Uh,
gotta ride it out.
But it's so hard to have like the right timing of firing your coach and having someone on the staff for up and coming that you want. So like the McDaniel thing last year was a little different. Like it really just depends on who's available. Like I wouldn't want one of the old like have been fired 4 times coaches.
Yeah.
I feel like it's similar to like my Knicks thing with
retreads. Yeah,
Tibbs.
yeah,
Um,
you're right.
Y'all,
so
y'all
We
finna
might
start
need to
pulling young
go
coaches
into
off of
that.
Ashley Madison. Or they finna start coming from plenty of fish or some shit. Y'all better hold on to the ones y'all got.
yeah, so
See,
we'll
I
see.
don't know if I agree with that because like some people said that for the Giants they shouldn't have got rid of Coughlin. It's been all downhill, but I don't agree with that. Like I feel like if you don't
Coughlin was like
have the
100.
guy,
Yeah, Coughlin
yeah,
was old.
he
He
was
was
no, but he was
old.
not as old as you think. He looked older than what he was.
But he was out there turning all red and like
Yeah,
30-degree weather.
he was
That man
old
was born
and
red.
he was old, but also I know that the Giants player said that he has a gritty personality that kind of draws on you and makes you
For
uncomfortable. Like
sure,
he's
for
too
sure.
harsh of a coach. So I think Harbaugh's probably the opposite. He's a player's coach. But yeah, it's like I don't know how you would have felt if they would have got rid of McDonald or got rid of Harbaugh and kept McDonald. That would have been promoting from within when you have somebody that you like that
Mhm.
is a better option to me though than going out and trying to because that's how you end up with Adam Gase as your
Yeah,
head coach.
I feel like the only path to do that correctly is when you have an older coach, unfortunately. Kind of similar like what the Ravens did with Ozzie Newsome
I
in our current
I don't
GM. We
I don't
had
know. There's a certain
mhm.
UNC coach out there
Huh.
that's 6-time, 7-time Super Bowl champ.
You don't want him and his girl. You don't want it. You don't want it.
You can have Jordan on the sidelines in Baltimore. Come
All
on,
right,
come on.
when the scandal comes
I'll
out,
pass.
when the scandal comes out as Zay Flowers matching Bill Belichick's girlfriend 3 days before the AFC Championship game, and that's what caused the rift between the team, you're not gonna be happy. So keep him out of there.
You have a
It'll be
point.
fun for the rest of the league. But yes, I agree. I agree.
You
So
could do
let's
the
actually go ahead. Go ahead
No, I was just gonna say you could remake the Desperate Housewives commercial from
with Bill
with Bill and T like they had with T.O., just him and his girl,
and
or him and Zay
Nicolette Sheridan
Flowers.
or whatever. Yeah. Low key, I want that to happen now, but no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But anyway, let's talk about in terms of we have what 4-2-0 teams, and we have let's see 10-0-2 teams. So let's go with the 2-0 teams first. Like which of these? I think this is actually probably obvious. So we have Bills, Eagles, Niners, Packers. I think three of them are pretty much contenders. The other one I'm not sure about. How do you guys feel that they are like real contenders? Do you think the Packers are really a legitimate threat for that NFC crown in the Super Bowl? Calvin, you go
Absolutely.
first.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the yeah. Are we just starting with the Packers? Then yeah, I think the
yeah.
Packers
Just
are
in
for real.
general, like out of that
I
group, like
think I think that they're going to end up right on schedule. You know, Jordan Love. I think this is his third year starting. Usually, that's right around
yeah,
where you hit the sweet spot, and it's his third year starting, but it's like his fifth or sixth year. I think they drafted him like 2020, so he's been
2020.
there.
Yep,
You know,
pandemic.
he's been there 6 years. So he, like you said, he's probably going to be entering his prime. I wish that they had um, like a legitimate number one. I don't know if Matthew Golden is going to end up turning into that, but I wish that they had like a dominant like, hey, this is third down. We have to have it. This is who I'm going to go to type of player outside instead of just a whole bunch of number two. Not in a disrespectful way, but I just wish that there was somebody like a big name wide receiver out there. But the defense, I think that the defense is going to be lights out for the whole season. Um, like I said, I keep saying it, but I'm really excited for Rashawn Gary and Parsons to team up. Um, and then I think LaFleur is going to be more comfortable with his play calling. They have Josh Jacobs back there running the ball as long as he can stay healthy. I don't see a reason why they can't get to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, no, I hear you. What about the Niners, Steven? Do you think they're for real or what? Because I
I don't
mean, they to me seem like the outlier in the 2-0, especially going into the year.
I don't trust any team that you have to start Mac Jones. Okay. It's like I'll leave it at that because it's kind of like
Hey, Purdy's
Mac
not gone
Jones
forever
could
though.
give you like and this is where he wanted to be, honestly. He wanted to be in San Francisco. He wanted to be play in Shanahan's system. But I'm just not buying kind of like the sustainability with like Mac having to kind of like carry a real role with this team right now. I don't think so. And then I think kind of like keeping McCaffrey on a pitch count kind of makes sense if you don't know the full health of this team right now. It's kind of like, hey, do we want to kind of like have our entire offense keep running through him, I think you have to do at a certain point if you do want to continue. But when you look at then the other teams that are being successful in the division now, it's kind of like maybe we could get by. I don't know, in terms of just kind of like it's about staying afloat right now for the 49ers. That's all. Stay afloat with Mac Jones.
And I think they could because they do, at least coming into the year. Remember, I was saying like they have one of the easiest schedules in like the last 10 years. I believe the 2015 Falcons had like the last time going into the season a schedule this easy. Now, Chaz, we were talking about before you came on about like the Chiefs, how concerned they should be. Now they're 0-2, but they are playing the Giants this week. So there's that. But if they go 0-3, right, then they got to play y'all out there in Baltimore. I believe that game's in Baltimore. So how concerned should they be? Because I don't know if they can come back from 0-3 and potentially 0-4 and then potentially 1-5 because they have the Lions in a couple weeks after that. What do you think of the Chiefs?
I think the biggest concern for them is this is the first year they've had, I think, no run game at all for any like I feel like there's no positive outlook for it getting better. Pacheco gets like 10 carries a game and maybe 30 yards if he's lucky.
Mm.
And then just the health and trouble of their receivers doesn't help much. And just feel like they usually get the bye like every other year or so. So it'd be kind of tough not having home field and going far.
The
Um,
only, yeah, I think the only time they didn't was the time they beat you guys
mhm.
They
in
beat Buffalo
Baltimore,
on the road too.
and that was the same year, right? I believe that was the
Yeah.
same year.
So the it's just scary because like it does it feels like sometimes no matter what the circumstance is, like hey because what's pissing me off now is that it's happening at the beginning of the season
Mhm.
and like it's not a mid-season low that's after the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So if they're like, oh, we need to fix this right now, they're just gonna be like, oh, let's trade for Tyreek. I saw Nick Wright talking about let's trade for Devon A-Chain from the I would fucking lose my mind if the Kansas City Chiefs just got Jamal Charles out of nowhere, out of thin air to revamp the offense. Like it wouldn't be fair. So I wish that I kind of hope that they steer. I'm not hoping that they win. In a
Oh
weird
no.
sense, I am no because I just want like I want them to steady the ship enough to where they think that they don't have to make these drastic changes. But I think they're smarter than me, so they're gonna know and they're gonna. Yeah, I just have to hope that Miami doesn't fucking start a fire sale after tonight.
How about this is for any of you three? Like, there's another certain former Chiefs wide receiver up there. I mean, do you think the Chiefs go after him? Do you think anybody tries to get him? I mean, he's not what he used to be speed wise. You look at all the metrics, he's not what he was, especially 2 years ago.
Who are you
Um,
talking about, Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill. Exactly. Exactly. Do you think
He
the Chiefs
he he has some DV stuff going on. I don't think that they would care. I'm almost 100% sure
they
they would
wouldn't
not
care?
care.
Yeah,
Hell
they
no.
don't
But
care.
but
They,
it's a bad look. Like one of your wide receivers is like Paul Walker from fucking Fast and Furious, and then
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
you got Tyreek Hill beating up women. Like I mean, if they're going to for the most unlikable team in the NFL, which they already are, if they're trying to triple down on it, then you trade for Tyreek Hill. But I don't even know. I'd like to be honest. I don't even know if Tyreek wants to go back there. I think that he just kind of wants to get away from Miami, but I don't think that he necessarily wants to go back to Kansas City either.
yeah, I feel like Tyreek feels like he's bigger than going back to Kansas City, especially with how that ended.
Yeah.
He was talking about retiring like a year ago.
Yeah.
If I remember right, I think wasn't he talking about retiring like the year after he got to Miami? Like
He
he
was
was
like, "Yeah,
thinking
I'm gonna
like,
finish up this contract."
yeah, and he was like, I'm out. I'm getting my
Yeah.
money and I'm out. And yeah, yeah. So let's actually talk about now the 10-0-2 teams. Chiefs, as we said, the Chiefs, Texans, Bears, Giants, Saints, Titans, Jets, Panthers, Dolphins, Browns. I mean, we talked a little about the Chiefs, but do you see any of those teams, really digging out of themselves out of this hole and maybe being not only the playoffs, but maybe somehow getting themselves into like a Super Bowl contender by year's end?
Oh,
Calvin, you go first.
The only one that you listed is probably Kansas City. Um,
You
I
think so?
name the teams again.
The Texans, the
I don't.
Bears, the Giants, the Saints, the Titans, the Jets, the Panthers, the Dolphins, and the Browns.
Yeah, the maybe the Texans, but
That's
I'm
who I was
starting
thinking
to
of.
I'm starting to like the Texans defense is incredible. I think that they have everything going right on that side of the ball. I
Yeah.
just don't know what it is about CJ Stroud right now, but he's starting to feel I don't want to say CJ Stroud's on the clock, but
No.
the struggles as of the last, since he took Caleb Williams under his arm and, said you're gonna, be safe
I
in this
got
league
you,
and
He
you're in the
bro.
big
same
broed him.
fucking
Yeah.
cage. Yeah, he little broed him.
He started
Um,
reminding me of Trevor
yeah,
Lawrence a lot,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah, I can.
Mm.
yeah.
It's starting to look like it's starting to look dark out. Like I just I can't put my finger on it. It's just it
But I
feels like a
feel that's the
constant struggle.
organization, though. The organization's failing him more than I feel like Stroud is being the problem. Honestly, they
The
played two tough games. So that's why them being 0-2, I just think the Texans, and
Right.
I got to go back to Houston. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to like rag on them right now.
the
So,
Laramie
Their
Tunsil
defense did
thing
look
really
nice.
didn't make any sense. Like that was the biggest thing is you trade. Will Laramie Tunsil end up in the Hall of Fame potentially? But you traded like your best offensive lineman away. You know, to another team with a young quarterback, and then now your young quarterback has nobody to look for his blind side. So it's kind of and he's been running, he's been running around. It seems like he's been running around for his entire life back there, these last 2 games. So I don't know. It's just something seems off. I don't want to equate it to like Arch Manning, but I'm getting like Arch Manning vibes for CJ Stroud in his first 2 games where I can't necessarily I believe in him, but I can't put my finger on exactly what's happening with him. It's like it's starting to feel like the Monstars kind of drained his
But
power.
we all respect the Bucks defense, and we all respect the Rams defense, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm that scared of the Bucks defense. I think that they're a good team. I don't know if I'm scared.
Are they
I
your
think the
Super
Rams.
Bowl pick?
Yes, but
Yeah.
it's mostly because of what they do on offense. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think outside of their D line, which also didn't help them much running.
Yeah,
And
and
for that example, their D line's crazy. But some
yeah,
of the other guys, it's like the D line in Winfield.
yeah,
I
and
think yeah, so
Cansey's out for the season now with the I think he tore his pec or something. So like the Buccaneers the Texans have like in Madden their defense is like 99 and their offense is like 85. To me, that's what I'm getting right now because you have superstars at every level. Like Will Anderson's a superstar. Uh,
For sure.
I don't know how to say
Stingley.
the linebacker. Yeah, Stingley's a
Daniil
superstar.
Hunter,
Yeah,
he's really good too.
Daniil Hunter's I think he's gonna end up in the Hall of Fame. Petrie, I like his safety. I don't know how to say that linebacker's name, but his last name is like Toto or something. I think he's very good too. And it's just, they're starting Nick Chubb in the backfield. No disrespect to Nick Chubb,
Yeah,
but it looks rough on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, I think of kind of like the teams too that are kind of like 1-1, but easily could be 0-2, like the Steelers. That's a team where I'm not buying anything the Steelers are selling right now. It's kind of like
The
like
Aaron
What,
Rodgers
you weren't
thing was
impressed on the
crazy.
win against the Jets? You weren't impressed against the win against the Jets? Come on now.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and that's probably going to be the best. Like, I think like when Jordan played, like came back for the Wizards, I think he had ended up having like a really good game at one point, and people were like, Jordan's back. I feel like that's how people kind of looked at Aaron Rodgers, but not understanding he knows a lot of that roster. He knows that team probably just about as well as Justin Fields probably knows the Steelers, and that was probably the best we were probably going to see with Justin Fields too. But like I just think the Steelers are really like that's a fraud 1-1 team right now. Where in my mind, I look at them closer to 0-2 than your Giants 0-2 right now. Honestly,
yeah. Rodgers looks like a statue back there. It's rough. I think as each week goes by, it's going to look worse. And I love Rodgers. Like
will he finish the
historically,
season?
I don't think so.
Yes. You don't think he'll finish
think
the
so.
season?
You don't think so? You don't think he'll finish the season?
It's AFC
Chaz?
North.
I don't think so either now.
Really? Okay. You think your Ravens are going to get to him?
Possibly. You never know.
What is that game? When is that game? Let's see. Week
It's a good
14.
question.
14 and 18.
They
Okay.
do that all the time.
I am
Mason
willing to
Rudolph
make.
is starting one of those games. That's all I'm
I'm
going to
willing
say.
to.
Both.
I'm willing to bet one. Well, isn't Mason Rudolph on the Titans now?
I think he's back on the Steelers now. I think
Is he
so.
back on I think he is. No, I think he is. I think he's the backup, isn't he?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, that's
Hold on.
crazy.
Mason.
But
He's
I'm
supposed to
willing.
start
to-
that Week 18 game.
I'm willing to bet one thing. I'm willing
He
to
is
bet
this quarterback. He's the backup. Yep.
I'm willing to bet that Aaron Rodgers finishes with more passing yards and more touchdowns than Caleb Williams.
Ooh, you know what?
Yeah,
Will I
it's
take that bet?
scary
Will
for
I
him.
take that bet?
I think
I'm
it's
taking
pretty
that
rough
bet.
outside.
I'm taking that bet.
I think
I'm
it's
taking
pretty
that bet.
rough outside for Caleb Williams. I told you
Well,
before the season started. I feel like Aaron Rodgers can roll out of his bed, and it's just because of the age that we're in. I think that he can roll out of bed and throw for 3,500 yards and 27 touchdowns. I think that he can do that. And those used to be MVP numbers in the early 2000s. Now it's like it's crazy to think that those are mediocre numbers, but I think that that's something that he can do. And I'm not sure that Caleb Williams is, I don't know. It's getting dark outside for him too, though.
Yeah, he doesn't look ready. And I feel like everyone loves Tyson Bagent for some reason. And they paid him. And even in the preseason, they looked better.
They're
Or at
like
least through
polar.
there.
They're polar opposites of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Polar bear opposites of each other.
Teehee.
But
I
yeah, no,
think, yeah.
go ahead, Steven.
Well,
No, go
I
ahead.
just think with Rodgers not finishing the season, Chaz is right. And the AFC North plays a little bit. The Browns are going to play you really tough. And that's not a D line I kind of want to kind of go up against either if I'm Aaron Rodgers right now. You're going to play the Ravens. You're going to, the Bengals, I guess you could get a broke clock right twice a day. So he's going to end up with like
It's
a
Hendrickson and
good
Garrett are
performance.
the best pass rushers the last couple of years somehow for
He
Can
Hendrickson.
could
you
probably light up that secondary pretty close to what Calvin was saying. Roll out of bed. He could probably like do what he
can you
has to do.
imagine if Miles Garrett would have fucking stood on business and not been a sellout and fucking got out of the division? He'd be he'd be doing numbers over there because Cincinnati's fucked and Cleveland literally. I mean, Cleveland's defense. Don't get me wrong. There's some dogs over there. I really like Denzel Ward and Miles. But if you take Miles Garrett off of that line and you ship him somewhere else, I I don't know.
Yeah, and I
The
remember they
way
were, yeah, but you know
the
where he might have ended up? He could have ended up on KC.
Oh,
Remember they were talking about that?
I don't think that's where I don't think that's where he was going to end up. And if they did end up, that would have been the Chris Paul trade where the
Roger Goodell
Roger
would have to
Goodell
go to
would have
prison.
he would have had to step in and be like, you know what,
I would have
we're
loved it
not letting this happen.
just to see you crash out and for content. That's why I would have loved it.
No, you don't that it wouldn't have been no content. I wouldn't have been talking about football for the whole year. Honestly, I couldn't fucking. Oh
we'd be
my
talking
God,
about
that
the
would have been.
WNBA awards right now.
I'd be talking
Yes,
about. I'd be like, hey, have you guys seen John Cena's last two matches? That's the type of shit I'll be watching right now.
WWE pod. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'd be watching. I'm not watching football if they trade
Roman
for
Reigns,
Miles Garrett.
John Cena, all those
But yeah,
guys. The Hulkster,
the
RIP.
oh, RIP is crazy. You talk who you was talking about
You
that
don't know
other
what
fucking
you don't know
guy.
what the RIP stands for in this sense.
Oh, wrestling. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you feel me. But
But
go ahead. What were you gonna say?
no, I was just gonna say like it's definitely the Ravens have been gifted an opportunity this year. Like Joe Burrow is gonna be gone for 3 months. The Steelers are starting Aaron Rodgers, and the Cleveland Browns are the Browns. So like it's there. I know people were like, "Hey, it was gonna be a two-horse race. It's not a two-horse race anymore." So they got to,
It's a
they have to
one
take full.
one
I
They
was
have to
horse
just
take full advantage.
town.
I was just talking to one of my friends. We shouldn't lose a divisional game this year.
No, not at all. Unless,
I don't agree with
no.
that. Just because it's a division, you're gonna always bound to lose one. But I'd say any more than one, yeah, you probably shouldn't. You
Even
know.
splitting with the Steelers is disgusting to me. But I
I
agree, especially with how late
Oh,
it is in the year.
that's a
You
good
never
question.
know.
Who do you hate the Steelers? Right? Is the number one you hate most in the division?
Yeah, it's I don't. It's pretty easy. Yeah,
Who's number two? Do you even have a number two?
the Bengals just from the year they went to the Super Bowl was terrible to
Ah,
witness.
wait, you
no,
didn't
I'm
like the
actually.
parody of having like the Bengals in the Super Bowl instead of the
Yeah, the
Chiefs,
parody. Did you enjoy
like
the parody of the sport?
I
fucking
didn't enjoy it at all.
invitational?
Mainly
Yeah.
because the Burrow Brady comps started then, and
Ugh,
I don't think they've ended.
it shouldn't
Unfortunately,
end. I don't even know if it should.
You
Well,
know,
the
now I
Bengals
feel
are,
like he's getting compared to another quarterback, and it's Andrew Luck
oh,
because of all the injuries that he's been,
yeah.
receiving these past 4 years. Actually, his rookie year too, he got injured. So almost every year, I think except two, he got injured. Uh, do you think, like looking back, should they have just drafted Penei Sewell instead of Jamar Chase? Do you think that would have fixed everything,
oh
or
no,
is it just the offensive line was just too deep that it would even have been beyond Penei Sewell being on the Bengals all those years? What do you think, Chaz?
I feel like that's too broad of a like. I don't think one move determined that. And Chase has been
Yeah,
bad. Um,
yeah.
oh, I mean they're cool. Like Penny is generational, but still the Jamar part, I feel like you sell a little bit more tickets with.
And
Yeah,
Jamar is generational too. So
Yeah, I could see the argument for either though. I really could see somebody saying, well, they could have been better off because they would have still had T. Higgins.
They wouldn't
I
have paid
mean,
him anyway as soon as his
What
contract.
if they would have ended up drafting Kyle Pitts though? And none of this is you're just
who?
fucked both ways. You're just
Who'd you
fucked.
say? Kyle
Kyle
Pitts?
Pitts
Is that
would
what you said?
be
Oh
You're
all
just
yeah,
time
fucked.
great,
You're fucked
probably.
both ways. Would have been
Kyle
awful. It could
Pitts,
have been
man.
worse.
Kyle Pitts. Everybody goes
This,
into my fantasy thinking this is the year. Every
this
single
It
is
year.
might be.
this is the year though. This
I
is the
finally
year.
tapped in after being a hater. He was free.
Yeah, Penix might have unlocked him.
But Burrow, I think it's kind of
Yeah,
like
good Penix will do that.
Good Penix, I agree. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good Penix will get him open.
that's wild. But I think if the idea that like Burrow's career path is kind of like going towards Andrew Luck, though, that's probably like one of the more disappointing things because just in hearing that, because it's like I think we were robbed of a decade of Andrew Luck probably getting the MVP and probably just like having a ton of
Hey,
yards. I think Burrow,
A
he was my
rivalry. He was going to
let's
have a
not
MVP
do
this
this right
rivalry
year.
with
now.
the Chiefs too.
I don't
We were
want to. I
robbed
don't
of
want
it.
to do it.
We were
I
robbed of
don't
that
want to
Colts Chiefs rivalry.
wrap
Now we're
this
about to
up.
get this Daniel Jones MVP.
Right.
Wrap this up.
Yo, what did you say, Chaz?
Now we're about to get this Daniel Jones MVP.
Yeah, Indiana Jones.
Oh my God. I can't. I can't.
He's gonna get the bag again, man. He's gonna get like another 3-year deal. So he'll be your quarterback through 2028.
If he wins 11 games, he
I'm
deserves.
gonna just.
I don't know if you
I'm
saw
gonna just.
Chaz. I don't know if you saw Chaz. We have a bet. Because I think Calvin was like, "Oh well, if Anthony Richardson and they play the best, they're gonna win 11 games." I said, "No way." I said, "If they win 11, I'll shave my head." You think I should be scared or what?
I think you should be scared.
Yeah, we're gonna beat the.
Yeah.
We're gonna sweep the
You think so?
Titans.
I'm
We're
gonna have
gonna
to wear
sweep
a
the
hat
Titans.
Their
all
division
winter
also
long.
looks kind of fraudulent.
Yeah, we're gonna
So I'm
sweep
gonna have
the
to wear a
Titans.
hat all winter, is what you're saying.
Basically.
There's worse things than being bald, all right? So it's kind of like you're making that like it's gonna
Now we
be
have 2 bald people on the show. Wait, there was definitely a bet that Calvin said he would shave his head for. I have to look back at the tapes. I'll have to
Why would I
find
say
out
that
what
I
that
would
was.
shave my head? I don't. I
You
don't
did.
have that much.
You
I
did.
don't have that much hair nowhere. So I
But you
would
did.
never
I don't
say.
remember what it was. I think it was Caleb Williams. I think it was the Bears. I think it was Bears related. But I think you're good because the
I'm
Bears
pretty sure
are,
I said the Bears.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said the Bears are like. I don't know which way it's gonna go. I could see them being good, and I could see them being bad.
You're right.
But I think I was high on the Bears, and you're like, if they win this X amount of games, yeah, I'll shave my head too. I think you said that. I'll get the
Well,
tape
I
back.
don't have to worry about it.
No, no, you're good. But you know what? Actually, I want to talk about the Bears. Going into the year, I said the Bears are like the most interesting team in the league, just because I didn't know which way it would go. I think it could have. First of all, we're only 2 games in, so I don't think we should be assessing things. I know it hasn't gone good these first 2 games, but I did say on the table is like a disaster where they only win 5 games. But I also said I could see, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams working well together, and I could see them making the playoffs too. So I just thought with the young talent they got to, I thought that could have been one of the most interesting teams in the league. I think you got to give us a little more time to cook, guys. I really do. Maybe I'm only saying that because I have him on my fantasy team, and both fantasy teams could be, but I think you got to give him a little more of a shot. Who else do they have on their schedule coming up? Hopefully some easy games, but
The the
um,
the thing with it's a young quarterback epidemic thing right now where a lot of times they're not giving these people enough, they're not giving these players enough time. It's you want the immediate gratification of, oh, I drafted you first overall, you should be a superstar immediately because they're so used to it being when you draft Andrew Luck or you draft you know RG3,
Cam
you get
Newton, Cam
yeah,
Newton.
you get one of those people that are immediately offensive rookie of the year, but at the same time, Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his rookie year. It's they're not patient enough because it's become even more of a win now type of league. So it's you're not getting the it used to be like, hey, by year 3 it should be clicking for this player, and now it's like, hey, like the thing, and it was said in the motion way before this, but when the Cardinals did that shit with Josh Rosen, and they drafted Josh Rosen 10, and then they immediately were like, hey, fuck this,
Yeah,
we're out of the Josh Rosen business, and
Kyler
they
Murray.
drafted Kyler Murray first overall the next year. It started setting a precedent where there's no time. Like if you suck immediately, we're gonna draft somebody over you, and it's wild. So I'm not the
Except if you're
biggest
the
fan of it.
Giants. Except if you're the Giants, and we stick with you for 6 years, and we give you another contract for lucking into a playoff victory. But okay,
But they took that approach, and his season just happened to come a little bit earlier because I think that he had a 20. I want to say like a 22-4 interception, like he had 22 touchdowns and 4 interception season, and
yeah,
that's a good season. It's a
it's
fluke,
not
and
it.
it's a good season for a rookie
It, he wasn't a
or a
rookie
second
that
year
year.
player. I want to see your progression. I want to see you get better each year. So
To your
that's a
point,
step up. That
to your point,
22.
though, to your point, you could name a lot of examples of guys who rode the bench like their first year or two, right? You got Love, you got Hurts, you got Mahomes, you got so Allen started as a rookie. Lamar was at the end of the year one, right? If I'm not
No, it's like
mistaken.
midway.
Yeah, right midway, right. So you could definitely name cases for either. I think what it is too is that contract. Like once they only have 4 years on that rookie deal, they want to see what they got in this guy because if you got somebody who's good, then you can really capitalize on that for 4 years. It makes it a lot easier on the cap. So I think that's really why it's also turned into just throwing the guys out there as well. So like I was saying before, like I think Jackson Dart's going to be probably thrown out there, thrown to the wolves probably by like week 8 because like Dable, he's going to need to save his job, and I think that's going to be like one of the main things he's going to go to ownership with to try to save his job. Where even if they go like 5-11, he'll be like, yeah, but look at Dart. I gotta run it back with Dart next year. He's gotten better as the year goes on. So I don't know. I say that to say like I just think nowadays that's what it is. They just want everything's like microwave, just kind of like our society too. Like we just want everything instant gratification and now. So we'll see. So we actually, it's funny. We actually, Steven picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl preseason. I picked the Ravens to win preseason. I know you're going to be biased, Chaz, because you're probably going to say the Ravens to win. But who did you think in the NFC is going to win?
Probably Lions.
You think the
I
Lions?
still like the
Okay,
Lions a lot.
I do too. I think way too many people were jumping off that bandwagon week 1. Way too many. I mean, um, you just saw last week. Now they were against the Bears, so you could say, oh well, maybe you're overreacting to week 2. But everybody after week 1 was like, oh, this offensive line, I'm kind of concerned because the guard play, they don't get the press, to get Montgomery and Gibbs free. So should there be a panic? I don't see it that way. I still think they're a pretty stable organization despite losing both their coordinators. I still see a lot of talent on that team. Um,
I think a lot of
Goff
people
is not.
also forget what Hutchinson looked like before he got hurt as well.
And Hutchinson was a monster. I mean, yeah, like I said, he just to have him, yeah, he was going to win a lot of like probably defensive player of the year last year if he doesn't get hurt. And I think they could have beat the Eagles if he was healthy. We'll never know that for sure now. But
So is
um,
there a team you're
It's
afraid of in the playoffs for your Ravens?
Phew.
Kansas City.
Every team with
Kansas City.
Kansas City,
every team.
Bills. I look at the Steelers or like if we played the Texans is like almost a bye, unfortunately.
Oh man.
Oh
Okay.
man,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, but it like because we're fine versus teams like that. The problem happens when the lights turn on and it gets a little dark outside. But probably the Bills. I
Okay.
think they have a
The,
better team in the city. It also hurts me too because I feel like it's so much coaching as well.
The
Like their
reigning
players, it
MVP.
doesn't make sense how good they are to me because I think their receivers are mid. They've been losing all of their like leaders. Milano gets hurt like every other
He
week.
hurt right now. He hurt right
Like
now. They just put
they,
it. He not playing tonight.
they cut Poyer. They had like Hamlin starting at safety last year. It's just
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works. So just out of the respect of that and how they kind of smacked us in that fourth quarter, I'm going with the Bills.
I don't know if Buffalo can do it because they don't spend they don't fucking sign anybody on defense, bro. They don't it
Not at
doesn't
all.
make any fucking sense.
And then they
They
paid
had
Von
Rich
Miller all that money.
Yeah, like you paid Von Miller and then you paid Josh Allen and then you
Yeah.
paid,
Hmm.
James Cook. But
Hmm.
Kincaid hasn't been as advertised. Keon Coleman's coming along. I think that he's going to end up being
I've
okay.
never been a fan of him.
Shakir is a good slot, but
He's not a
like
number one.
Yeah.
their offense doesn't even seem like it should be that good. It's just kind of just Josh Allen
They have
carrying
Cook though.
everything. And the offensive line is great. But the defense literally it's a fucking medical ward every season. Like I don't even why even keep bringing Milano back at this point because he's hurt he you should not be hurt the second game of the season. And now Ed Oliver's hurt. They're not playing him. This might just be out of, hey, we think we're gonna beat Miami ass today. We don't. You guys can take the day off
Short
too.
week.
I
Yeah.
don't like they're considering it a get healthy bye week because they just think that Tyreek Hill is gonna walk off the field mid game or some shit.
He's gonna go AB.
Yeah, but it's just like they Buffalo has to do something like it's the same. Like you have to trade for some. They should have been offering whatever they had. Offer 2 first round picks, 3 first round picks to get Micah Parsons there because
They're so cheap.
you need some kind of difference. And I think that they're cash strapped, but you need some kind of difference maker. Joey Bosa, I don't think Joey Bosa is going to cut it. I like Joey Bosa. I think he's a good player. He's too hurt. Um, Ed Oliver was supposed to be the next Aaron Donald. He clearly has not turned into that at all. And then their first round cornerback, the cornerback from Kentucky's hurt. I don't think he's played all season. So, and then Benford getting fucking concussions every game. It's annoying. Like I'm not, it seems like, because I want these teams to be able to get over the hump. And the decision making is like, I don't feel like it doesn't ever feel like they're going all in. It just feels like they're like trying to ride
Yeah.
Josh Allen's coattails to the Super Bowl.
Even like last year with Allen's MVP ride being he had so little to work with. So they were like, all right, we
Yeah.
look bad. Let's get Amari Cooper and have him play
Yeah.
like 10
What the fuck is
snaps.
Amari Cooper gonna do?
Yeah. And then
Can't
they
do
just gave
it.
up on that. Keon is cool. I think they drafted him just because Allen wanted him. But like his profile isn't a one.
He's not. He's
Nah,
not.
he's too slow. He's too slow, man.
Yeah, it's mainly the separation part too.
Yeah,
But
I
I
never was
mean,
a
like,
fan.
I think that I don't know if they had I think Anquan Bolden ran like a 4.71, and that's who they were. That I
Hmm.
saw some comparisons to him.
Oh,
And if
I never thought that.
I feel like you can win with Anquan Bolden as your number one receiver, but you need somebody else on the other side of him because Anquan had Larry his whole the
Well,
first half of his career or whatever. So I just don't know.
Flacco
I don't
won
like
with
the
him.
decision making. I don't like
Yeah.
the but yeah, anyone would but he had Dennis Pitta, he had, Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith.
He had
Torrey
people
Smith,
that
yeah.
Jacoby
yeah,
RIP.
yeah, he had
Yeah.
Yeah.
people that did different things. But it doesn't like Buffalo doesn't have people that do unique things. Like, okay, Keon's a big body wide receiver, and then you have Shakir. He's not a
Yeah.
burner, so you don't
They don't
have.
do them well.
But I see somebody on their team all the time, and it's always in the preseason. It's the fucking, I think his last name is like Shaver or something.
Hmm.
He's like super fucking explosive, and I never see him in the games. At some point, you just got to get some kind of speed on the field. I think that you should just get him out there. Fuck it, just run a go
Yeah,
every
they
time.
forgot about that after Gabe Davis's first run.
Oh my god, that was
Gabe
oh my
Davis is
god.
that 4 touchdown game. What was it, the AFC title game?
Hmm.
He was never it again like that.
He got that bag though.
That was it. Yeah, and that's exactly. Set his family up for generations, and
And
that's it.
now he's
I'm
back
out.
in Buffalo, I think.
The Matt
I
Flynn
think
of
they just signed it. Yeah, they did.
the Matt Flynn of wide receivers.
And Matt Flynn. Yeah, yeah. That actually, that was even more wild because that wasn't even a playoff game. That was like a random. What was it, Monday night or Sunday night?
It was the
That
last
Rodgers
game of
was
the
out.
season.
Was the last game? Okay, so Sunday night. Yeah, yeah.
I don't
That
think it
guy
was
didn't
a
even
night
start a
game.
game for the Seahawks. I don't think they went
No.
right to
Nope.
Russ,
He
right?
was the backup.
Yeah.
Yep. Hmm.
Shout out
Right
to
through
him for
us.
getting his bag and not having to do any fucking thing. He didn't
And
have
then
to
he
do
That's
went
the
back
shit.
life,
to Green
man.
Bay
That's the
too, I
life.
think. Yeah.
I think he might have. Yeah, I don't even. I wonder, did he even start a game ever after that? Like for any team? I I don't
Mm-mm.
remember. That's the life, though, man. No pressure, no like criticism of being a quarterback, no getting hit,
I'm sure
just
Flynn
being a
ended up on the
backup, holding the
Raiders.
clipboard, making millions.
I actually don't know if he started again. I want to.
I feel
I
like he
think
ended
that
up on the
he.
Uh,
Raiders for some
Actually,
reason.
he did. He started the Raiders. Yep, he started on the Raiders
Oh.
2013.
Yeah, I think he
Started.
took Terrell Pryor's job.
Actually, he
Oh.
started. Wait, I'm trying to see here. So he started one game in 2010. That's where he got. And no, one game in 2010, one game in 2011.
That
None for the
doesn't say a
Seahawks.
lot. Taking Terrell Pryor's job.
That was my guy.
Terrell Pryor. I remember all the hype about him. Number one recruit.
Just imagine if Anthony Richardson switches to wide receiver. It's gonna go fucking crazy. Yeah, it's gonna go
He still
fucking.
had
He
a
should do
thousand
it.
yard season
He should start.
receiving.
He should start doing it right now. Actually, fuck it. Mid season, just do it. The dude's a fucking tank, and he runs a 4.4.
Yeah.
DJ to AR connection.
Do y'all think it's done for AR career wise?
No,
No. No, some team's going to take a chance on him. We were kind of
Yeah.
before you got on. We actually were thinking what teams would trade for him, and if a team would trade mid-season for him. I said I think somebody would be more likely to take a shot in the offseason because they want to get him under their wing. Steven thinks that
he's
some team could even
he's
take a shot now
I think so.
he's.
I
to
think the
try to trade
I
him.
Bengals
think
should look at him. Honestly,
I
I'm not
don't.
too high on Browning. I think kind of like, hey, if you get Richardson, you have like a good run where hey, we salvaged some of the season, flip him. You're gonna get whatever you traded for him back anyway. It's like you just need him to look good with Jamar Chase, Higgins. You just need him to
I
look
don't.
good for a month and a half. That's it.
He's not gonna. He's well. First of all, he's gonna have to look good for 3 months, and it's probably gonna have to be. It's probably gonna be have to be the latter half, like right before Joe comes back. Because if he starts to
Yeah,
play good and it tails off, you're not gonna get any value for him. So
yeah.
you kind of want him. You want him to show the improvement that he wasn't showing in Indianapolis. But
Yeah,
still, I'm
I think
just
he's so dependent on an offensive coordinator and O line. So it'd be
yeah.
hard mid-season,
Yeah.
especially
You
with
gotta
something not built
you gotta
around them.
you got to trade him to, like I said, somewhere where there's a quarterback whisperer, like fucking McVay. San
The Rams
Francisco
is
is
a
the
good
place that
choice.
should.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Rams will be good. I think that San Francisco would be good because I think Shanahan can get the most out
maybe
of it.
Vegas.
I think that I said Vegas earlier, but
You're saying no
I don't
Chaz?
It's just the
I
Raiders
don't.
logo.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm so
it's like
scared.
quarterback. It's like
Yeah,
quarterback hell.
quarterback's going to die.
Or you trade him not would I do I think he should go to Minnesota? No, but I think Kevin O'Connell is like a he can work
Damn,
with
you
a
already
lot.
hopping off the mid-Carthy boat already?
Oh
I
man,
was never on it.
I might have
Okay.
been the only one here
Yeah, you
on
liked
it. Yeah,
I
mid-Carthy.
think uh I think he'd be okay on the Dolphins. It's just very
Oh
dependent.
no.
Like
So
I think Mike's about to lose his job. And as a Tua
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
he might lose
Logic's
his
done.
brain function very
So
soon.
I think that them people like I think Dolphins fans like Quinn Ewer behind him now.
He looked bad.
I don't
Did
but
he?
think.
Zach Wilson's the
I didn't see the
backup.
preseason games.
Hmm. And I think
Did he?
he lost his backup job to Zach
He-
Wilson.
To Zach
Quinn
Zach's
Wilson?
Ewers?
Zach's the two. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Oh
he did.
fuck. If you
Zach
So
lose
it's
Wilson
if you
still
gave
lose a
rough.
job to if you lose a job to Zach Wilson, then you should just have to go to the XFL for a fucking year. Like,
And
hey,
how did that guy?
to
And
the
how did the guy? I know I'm gonna sound repetitive, Calvin, but how did the guy who lose his job to Zach Wilson start over Arch Manning last year? What does that say about Arch Manning?
that it's not
That's what a
this.
lot of people
Oh
were
my
saying with Arch.
I
god,
know
y'all
Calvin
motherfuckers,
hates
y'all
when I say that,
motherfuckers
Chaz.
don't
He
listen
hates
because
that.
it
He
doesn't
hates when I
make
say
sense.
that.
College football is not professional football. He was already. He thought that they gave them the best shot. It wasn't like it wasn't a Tua Jalen Hurts situation where he was gonna come in. Quinn was uh he was he was like Quinn Ewers is like the #1 high school recruit like of all time ever.
Until last year, he was like slated to be like an early draft pick too.
Yeah,
Well,
so
if it wasn't a
yeah, it wasn't like, hey, we're going from some Joe Schmo to, the savior. Quinn Ewers was the savior. He was supposed to be the guy that led Texas to the national championship. And Art in his place when he came in, he played well. So it was, that's not
Yeah,
It
but
just takes
I
one bad year in college, unfortunately.
say again.
It just takes one bad year in college,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's once
As a big
especially
Rattler fan myself.
yeah, especially like yeah, exactly. Like if you're in your senior year and you come in here and fucking stink it up, you're go it's over. It's over no matter how. And now it's starting to unless they touted you like I think Caleb Williams could have came in and had a midseason because I think USC went 7-5, but he had showed so many physical tools
Mhm.
that they were like, oh yeah, fine, whatever. But you have to come in college to be considered like the next person that I can see it happening for is like this Bryce Underwood dude from Michigan.
Mhm.
Just because
mm,
he came in as the #1 recruit. I think he's like 6'5". Don't know how much he weighs, but he's the prototypical, you
Mhm.
know, QB. He's the #1 recruit in the nation. So that's when it's going to start getting, depending on how the season goes this year. Once that hype starts to build up, if he has 2 good years and then he has a down year in his like if he stays for his senior year,
Mhm.
they're still going to draft him high just based off his pedigree. So that's the type of thing that I'm talking about, and that's why I was saying Quinn Ewers was that dude.
well, he's not that dude now. That we know for sure. Can't beat out Zach Wilson. But Chaz, listen, thanks for coming on. But wait, we got to settle one thing before you go.
Yes.
Remind us of something that happened in 2014, I believe it was, when you might have tweeted something about Fitzpatrick and Brady and somebody
What
blocking somebody.
what's
Could
going
could
Yeah,
you
on?
refresh my
so
memory?
I happen to be my first year of fantasy football specifically, was Arian Foster's breakout year. So I have a love with the Texans and Fitzpatrick. I just remember him throwing, it was like 6 touchdowns or something crazy. And as a Ravens fan and Patriots hater, it was an opportune time to say Fitzpatrick was better than Brady.
Mm.
Oh my
And
God.
my young mind kept on pressing that. So understandable things happened.
And then what
Um,
happened?
what do you mean after that?
Yeah, who some particular person blocked you, no?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Allegedly, this
Supposedly,
happened. I
it
don't
was a
know.
long time ago.
There was a thing that happened on Twitter, and I'm kind of like, just hearing this now, it's so funny to me because it's like, if this was like the game in the moment or whatever, I probably was pretty pissed off. In general, it's kind of like, in gosh, but that's something where it's like it doesn't even register. Luckily, like the Patriots went on to have way more success. But
Damn.
it's a game where I don't even remember until this came up, and then it's kind of like that could have happened. That could have happened. And it's kind of
Blocking
I
like,
was very
blocking him
petty
for
at
an
the
opinion
time.
is crazy.
Thankfully,
I
I'm
blocked
not
so
as
many
emotional when
Bronco
we lose.
fans. I don't
But
even
like
want to get into it.
when Billy Cundiff missed that kick, I think I went to bed within like 5 minutes,
Was it
and I
Lee
need to go to
Evans
school.
who dropped
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ball too?
Uh
Lee
huh.
Evans.
Oh my gosh.
It was
Buffalo
terrible
legend,
times.
Yeah.
Lee Evans.
I'm still in shock at that game because that game was like the Patriots offense couldn't do anything. I swore like Tom Brady did like a dive touchdown, which he should never do, and Ray Lewis just like helmet to his back, and I was kind of like,
No, it was tough
oh
times. I
shit,
think
like,
that's my most hated rivalry ever.
but
Even
we
more than the
had good
Steelers.
games in
More
like
than the
We
the
Steelers.
had good
Okay.
divisional
games.
game.
The regular season games were great too. My favorite one's the field goal that went over the pylon, or not over
And
the
then
pylon, over
Bills
the
running out and
yeah.
stuff like that. And yeah, I still don't think that one went in. I still don't. I wanted. Was that the replacement refs too that year
I
too?
don't think so. I'm not
Oh,
gonna give you that.
I want to give it to the replacement refs, like trying to run off the field. I guess my favorite Pats. Well, you named the AFC Championship game. That game had me so tense. I don't think it was a favorite, but it was the
All of the
divisional.
Edelman trick plays made me mad.
Yeah, the ones where it's kind of like we had to keep coming down 14 points in that divisional round. That was our AFC Championship game right there. The Colts did not really mean any. Whoever was going to win that game was going to go to the Super Bowl and face the Seahawks. That's as far as I was concerned. But Joe Flacco, he just like flips the switch, and Lamar does it too now. And I noticed that when he was like playing against Bill, where it's like he could just flip a switch, and it's something
That's what
about
makes it so stressful. Because it's like he's trying to flip it and something else happens, and he's just an arm punt or a turnover on the 3.
Yeah. So, but it's like, yeah, definitely no hard feelings about any blocks that happen.
So are y'all cool
ago.
now, or what?
Oh yeah, of course. I've deleted
Did I
Twitter
squash the
several
beef?
times.
I
over.
squashed the beef.
Chaz, it's like I do want to say I don't look forward to playing you in fantasy because, like, for whatever reason, your team always overperforms. It feels like I don't look at the projections anymore when we play
He's
each
saying
other.
he's saying your team sucks. That's what he said.
No, his
That's
team,
what it sounds like.
It knows that, like, oh, okay, we're playing Steven this week. Oh, we're supposed to score 120. We'll score 160 this week. It's okay. And I'm kind of like, what the hell is going on?
Now I'm looking forward to our matchup.
No, I'm always not looking forward to it, and I hope I don't see you in the playoffs. I'll leave it.
Don't worry,
that.
you won't, because you're not gonna make it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
Oh man,
I need to make it. I think my sister won one like last year, Mike, or something.
Against 2 years ago against Steven. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God.
Your sister's in the league?
My sister
Yeah.
won our dynasty league the last.
Yeah,
2
she won
years.
2 years ago.
Wait, who's your sister? Who's your sister?
Flacco.
Flacco.
Yes. I figured that was a girl. I just didn't know who it was.
She's just like you, where it's kind of like anytime I have to play her, it's kind of like forget the projections. It's kind of like it's just going to be either I'm going to get blown out or it's going to have to be a shootout because the team's going to just ball out.
A few of the games.
Yeah, so yeah, I enjoy kind of like getting to kind of like chop it up with you. Definitely, yeah.
So we got to talk trades.
Beef squash,
we actually
officially.
do. Yes.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it, man. Anytime, man. You got to hop back on. Maybe in a month or so. Do they play each other this year, Pats Ravens?
I think this year.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I would hope. I would hope
Patriots
not.
have been too bad.
I would hope not for the Patriots.
Yeah, because we supposedly have
a
credit
yeah,
schedule.
yeah.
I've been told. Because now we play the Lions Monday. But yeah,
good game. Yeah,
it's rough.
All right, so we're gonna get on out of here. Thank you, Chaz, for coming on. Another episode of 3rd and 30. Gonna be back at you next week.
All right.